Welcome back, and in this video here we are going to look at the folder structure that we'll be using to build this application. Remember, this is a full stack application and we'll be having our front end and our back end. As I said in the last video, or the video that I was talking about how this application will work, remember we said that we also add background services, and background services will be like a small backend in our application that will handle things like sending emails and also things like setting reminders to the events. And here also you can see this is the front end that we have already showing you in this video. So what I'll do, I'll just go in here in our terminal, and in our terminal here I'll just add another inside this document here. I'll add another folder, and this folder here I will call it full stack. Let me call it full stack events application. Full stack events, let me add it as events application or app. Let me call it app, just like that. I think that's okay. So I have added that folder, so I can see the into this application, or into this folder, that is, and it is events. So it is event, and then I want to open the VS Code inside here, so I'll just say code dot this, or code dot, so that we can open the VS Code that we'll be using to coding as our editor. So let's see, or let's wait our VS to open. And as we are waiting, remember we are using Next.js, so we can look at how you can add out how you can create an Next.js application. So in here we can say how to install Next.js application on Next.js, just like that, in VS Code or maybe anything. So let's see the command that we can run. So if we run this, if we have this, we can click here in this Next.js website. So let's wait, and in here now you can see we have already now opened the VS in this folder here. So let's see if we have already opened this website for Next.js, and I want to see the command that we can run. So here you can see the command that we can run in order to generate the npm or the Next.js application. So right here we can go back, and in here, or let me open this VS Code here, we will add the folders that we will need so that we can talk about the folder structure that we'll be having. So the first folder here will be front end. So we'll have our front end folder here, and also we'll be adding another one. So right now it is creating that folder, so we'll be having another folder. The other folder that we'll be having is background services. Background, let me add, or maybe it is loading, it is still loading, so let's give it time. So now let me say keep waiting here. So in here we have already talked about the command that we need to run in order to start with generating the application for Next.js that will be our starting point. So let me say keep waiting. So this is taking time, and I don't know why it is taking a lot of time to add the folder. So after a while it should add the folder inside here. So let me say close. So I have closed that because it is not working as expected. So let me open it again by adding this code and then dot. So let's wait as the VS is opening. So right now I think it will be opening as fast as possible. So let's wait for a while. So after that, now you can see we have this one. So here you can see the folder has been added, the folder that we have a front end, and this front end here is the one that the user will be interacting with. So like this one here, like in this here, you can see this is our front end here. So the other folder that we'll be having is background services, and we can add it as background services. You can choose to call it background BG, standing for background services, just like that. So that is the background services, and the last one will be having our API. So these two here, the API here and then background services here, these two will be just like backend. But this background services, remember, it is only interacting with our database. It's not interacting with our API, and also it is not interacting with our front end. And our API here will be the responsible to do things like CRUD operations and the other APIs that and other functions that API do. So I know most people create front end and API only. And the other folder that I will add also will be having admin side or admin dashboard. So I'll just call it admin. So just like that. So these are the folders that we'll be having in this project, because this project, I want it to be a realistic project and also a project whereby you can implement it or deploy and use it in the real world. So these are the folders that we'll be having. So right now, the other thing that we need now is to generate the application, because we're starting to code from the front end, and then we go into this direction here. We go to our API and then background services and then admin side. So let's look at the command that we can learn to initialize an application for Next.js. So this one, we can use this one here. So next create, you can say npx create next here up, and then at latest. And you can see if you are using yarn as your package manager, this is the command that you can use. And the other one is if you are using or you want to add TypeScript, you see here, this is the command for TypeScript. So that's all. And then let's go here, and inside in our terminal here, we can go inside the front end here, and I can paste the command here. So I'll just say create next and then at latest, and then I'll add this dot, meaning that create inside this folder. So let's click enter, and I think it will take time. So after it has installed, now we'll come back and now start coding our front end, starting with navbar all the way to our footer. So this is what we'll be doing in the next video. So because I know it will be taking time, so what will I can see here, because of name convention. So right here you can see it is not being installed, and this is because of this folder, this front end here, because we started with this capital F here, and the Next.js is not accepting the capital letters here. So I'll just go back just like that, and then inside our application here, what I'll do, I'll just first of all delete. So I'll delete this folder, and then again I'll come back here, and then let me clear first of all, and let's go back, and now we can say front end, because now we can say npx create next application, and the folder is front end. So let's click enter, and it should actually install now the application that we need now from here. So I'll just say no, because we don't want to use, we will not be using TypeScript. So we can say no, just like that. Would you like to install with project? Yes, I think that's yes. And then Tailwind, no, we'll not be using Tailwind. And then would you like to use, yes, or let's say yes. And would you like to use experimental with this project? No. So I think that's all, and it should install all what is required. So it is still installing, so I won't give you, or let's meet in the next video, where now we'll be starting to code now our front end.